And I know she'll be the death of me, at least we'll open up. And she'll always get the best of me, the worst is yet to come. But at
Welcome
least
back to the Low Record Show. We just went over the breakdown of the expanded classifications in the PIAA starting in the summer of 2016 with football and all the fall sports. And the light we broke down the major sports, and we also earlier to start the show talked about the firing of Chip Kelly as Eagles head coach. If you have any comments, who you think should be the Eagles coach, if you're an Eagle fan, you can leave a comment on my Facebook page, lowrecordsports.com. Well, not .com. I don't have a web page, but Low Record Sports on Facebook. We're going to go over free agency in Major League Baseball. There's been a lot of stuff going on. In trades, I have to get. Well, the next time I do video, we'll go down through the big trades so far in the off season. But here are the free agent signings so far. Phillies, they catcher Phillies, they signed J.P. Arancibia to a minor league deal. The Braves re-signed A.J. Pierzynski to a 1-year, $3 million deal. And the Orioles re-signed Matt Wieters to a 1-year, $15.8 million contract. And he's been so injury prone in his entire career so far. Second base, no real notable first baseman free agent signing so far. Second base, Dodgers re-signed Chase Utley to 1-year, $7 million. The Cubs signed Ben Zobrist, 4 years, $56 million. The Nats got David Murphy. He was with the Mets last year. He signed a 3-year, $37.5 million deal. And the Mets signed Asdrubal Cabrera to a 2-year, $18.5 million deal with a team option. Notable outfielders, Chris Young signed with Boston, 2 years, $13. Kobe Rasmus re-signed with the Astros, 1 year, $15.8. And Jason Hayward, who hasn't really done jack diddly squat the last couple years, signed with the Cubs, and I think the Cubs overpaid, but this is the Cubs and the Mets are the hot teams right now. Going into 2016, he signed an 8-year, $184 million deal with the Cubs. Pitchers, Johnny Cueto, who was with Kansas City, coming off a World Series title, signed with San Francisco, 6 years, $130 million. Marco Estrada, Blue Jays, re-signed 2 years, $26 million. Bartolo Colon re-signed with the Mets, 1 year, $7.25 million. Zach Greinke of Arizona, and they outbid the Dodgers by at least $50 million. He signs a 6-year, $206.5 million deal with the Diamondbacks. Former Philly J.A. Happ signs with Pittsburgh, 3 years, $36 million. Mike Leake, formerly of the Reds, signs with the Cardinals, 5 years, $80 million with a mutual option. John Lackey, he was with the Angels, then went to the Red Sox, was with the Cardinals last couple years, signs with the Cubs, 2 years, $32 million. Today, Scott Kazmir signs with the Dodgers, 3 years, $48 million. This guy here, former receiver from Notre Dame, Jeff Samardzija, started out with the Cubs in the bullpen. Occasional starter, is getting starter's money with the Giants, and I don't think he's worth this contract. 5 years, $90 million. He hasn't really done squat as a pitcher. Jordan Zimmermann with the Nationals, he signed a 5-year, $110 million deal with the Tigers. Notable relievers, Andrew Bailey, he was a big big prospect from the Red Sox. He's been injury prone his whole career. He signs with the Phillies to a minor league deal. Ryan Madson, a former Philly, he had Tommy John's shoulder reconstruction, has done a nice job. Signs with the A's, 3 years, $22 million. And Darren O'Day, Baltimore, he re-signed with them for 4 years, $31 million. Now your notable free agents right now: Chris Davis, he was with the Orioles last year. He's a first baseman. J-Roll still available. Remember the Phillies traded him to the Dodgers for some prospects. He's still Howie Kendrick with the Dodgers is available. Alex Gordon still available. Marlon Byrd, Jeffrey Core, Shane Victorino still available. So there's your notable. We're gonna end a couple topics, couple things here. First, Penn State they fired John Donovan and signed Moorhead. John Moorhead, I believe. I forget what his first name is from. Fordham. He was their head coach. Put up big numbers. Franklin gets him as the new offensive coordinator, but Ricky Rainey is gonna call the plays in the bowl game against Georgia on Saturday, where Georgia is still. Last I saw, they are still a 6.5 point favorite over Penn State. Should be a good test. Both teams have some coaching issues. Penn State obviously don't have an offensive coordinator. Georgia has an interim head coach. Their whole staff is pretty much coaching their last game and stuff. So a lot of uncertainty there, and I think that favors Penn State kind of. Will this be Hackenberg's last game in a Penn State uniform? There's no sign, any indication which way he's going. So we'll see. I think Penn State does have. I think that they have a really good shot to win it because their defense. They will be healthy. Nassib will play. Last I heard, so defense should be phenomenal come Saturday. Question mark is how will the offensive line hold up? They haven't really played well all year, pretty much. They need to get Barkley going. And with all this practice time, how sharp will the offense be with Hackenberg throwing the football? So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Baylor beat Carolina yesterday. I was kind of surprised. I thought Carolina would give them more of a game than they did. Auburn beat Memphis. I was shocked at that because I thought Memphis for sure would be able to handle Auburn. That Fuente at quarterback. I didn't get to see the numbers. Mississippi State they beat NC State, so that was not a surprise there at all. So good one tonight. USC Wisconsin in the Holiday Bowl. That should be a good ball game. And there's lots of games tomorrow. The next couple of days too, as we get the college football playoff. Maybe tomorrow night I'll do another video and give my thoughts on who I think is going to play for the national title. But there's a lot of good ball games tomorrow and Friday. Also, next week sometime I will do a video and give my thoughts on the NFL playoffs. Who I think is going to go to the Super Bowl. We'll give my prediction there. I do, before we close it out, give congratulations to the Redskins for winning the East. They flat out destroyed the Eagles. There's no question about it. The last month and a half, everybody's been feasting on the Eagles. So, not much I can say there. Just saw Des Bryant done. He's going to have surgery on his ankle and foot. So he's going to have a couple surgeries done in the offseason. interesting to see what Dallas does in the draft and what they do in free agency. That's going to be really interesting. But here with some basketball, Golden State Warriors are really fun to watch. Watched Golden State last week on Christmas Day. Man, I love Stephen Curry. I love that team. The Sixers are competitive. They are better since they made that release in Wotan and got that guy from Utah. I believe he was with Utah. He used to be with Phoenix. Saw some highlights from the other night. Man, they got themselves a point guard, but I also like McConnell. Okafor's out. He has some injury issues and stuff. No one's Noel's looked pretty good, but we'll see. But the Sixers have been really very competitive. They've rarely been blown out. They've blown a lot of leads though, so I think the Sixers will improve the rest of the year. Boys basketball with Millersburg, they lost again to Upper Dauphin, but they were much better last night than a couple weeks ago at home. But this team, from the games that I've seen, and it's a consensus, until they start pounding the ball consistently inside, they're not going to win many games. They cannot rely on shooting mostly outside jump shots. They are not a consistent outside shooting team. They are very, very streaky shooters. But they need to pound the ball inside to Kiter. They got it into Snyder quite a bit yesterday. And I think Bird needs to also post up more frequently. Because the more you dominate in the paint, the much easier and wide open outside shots you have. It's that way for boys and girls in any basketball. If you can control the paint, it'll make it much easier to be able to penetrate, pull up, and if they're going to condense the post, you can pull up for that foul line jumper, kick it back out to a wing for a wide open shot. That's what happens when you can control the paint in the post play, and that needs that. And until Millersburg boys do that consistently, you're going to see a lot more what happened last night. So that's my take. Against Tri-Valley, that was the best they played all year. They are a similar sized team, and we tend to do very well against a similar sized team. But the smaller teams, for some reason, we struggle, and you got to dominate the paint against a smaller team, and we seem not to do that. So there you have it. There's my take, and now end the show. You're allowed to comment and leave a comment and questions on anything that I discussed today, and I very much appreciate the support and you guys watching the video. It means a lot. We're going into year number 3 starting Friday. Wow. So I do want to wish you all a happy new year, happy and safe 2016. Me personally, 2015 overall, one of the best years that I've had in a while. The end was a little disappointing with my mother having early stage 1 breast cancer. They got it, and she's doing great. I just want to thank everybody for all the prayers and stuff and concerns. It meant a lot, and hopefully don't have to go through that again. Currently, my stepdad's in the hospital with cellulitis, so. But overall, I have to say, 2015 was pretty good. Got got a new nephew. Now I'm going to gain a new cousin here in a couple months. So I really can't complain. I can't complain. It's been really good. So again, thank you for the support and watching these videos. You don't have to watch them, but a lot of you do, and I really much appreciate it. So we'll try and do some more videos on Friday night over the weekend. So, from the Low Worker Show, have a Happy New Year, and we'll see you sometime over the weekend. This is the Low Worker Show, Low Worker Network. Have a good night. Cheers!